What up, Laker Nation and rest of NBA world? It's your boy Dan, the Lakers fan, back with another video, man. DTLF in the flesh. Uh, a lot of rumors to talk about today. Had to make one, man. I was gonna make one earlier, but I realized rumors just started flying out of left field from nowhere. So we're hearing all kinds of stuff, including that this is gonna be a record-breaking offseason for trades. All right, NBA agents and teams have mentioned this, according to multiple reports. Now, all kinds of players being mentioned out there, starting with Kyle Lowry. Obviously, Russell Westbrook has been a name we've been attached to for multiple days now. Most recently, Buddy Hield. I'm going to get into that one right now. Many names being basically we're linked to almost everybody and then some. And I want to break down these rumors, how legit I think they are, and which ones are my favorites. So I want to start off with the rumor of the day, guys. Rumor of the day, Buddy Hield to the Lakers. So according to Shams, all right, it was reported today that the Lakers have engaged the Sacramento Kings on a trade for shooting guard Buddy Hield. According to Shams, a trade involving Hield likely wouldn't include the number 9 pick, but the Kings are also open to trading both their picks, number 9 and number 30 something. I think they have like a second round pick as well. So we didn't get too many details on that trade other than the fact that Kyle Kuzma is involved. So there you go. Everybody who doesn't really like Kyle Kuzma, you might have your wish, because it looks like, according to Wojnarowski as well in a different report, the Lakers are shopping KCP and Kyle Kuzma and multiple packages to the rest of the league. So what I think is I believe that those two guys, they're being their name is being thrown out there just to gag the interest on teams to see what's the best package we can receive in return. So I'm really excited because I do think there's some trade value there. Okay, they have the number 39 pick. Thank you. I do think there's some value, and I'm interested in what teams would give us a solid return. Now, we already heard about the Buddy Hield to the Lakers potential deal. But is there other deals on the horizon we're not hearing about? That's the question. My boy David Tran said, hey, Dan, can you clarify if we can start trading now for next season? I'm confused. Thank you. Yes, I do believe that you can start. And thanks for the donation, bro. I do believe you can start trading as soon as your season is over. So as soon as we get eliminated from the playoffs, I think we're eligible. I think that becomes the offseason for us, if I'm not mistaken. That's why coaches get fired the very next day and trades can't happen. So, but back to the Buddy Hield to the Laker rumors. Guys, I know a lot of you guys have been saying, Dan, we should trade for Buddy Hield. Dan, Buddy Hield, Buddy Hield, Buddy Hield. So I have to give credit to Laker Nation. You guys jumped on this one first. And now, even though I do believe they can agree verbally, I don't think we can execute a trade till August, because I think that's when the poison pill contract on Kyle Kuzma comes off. So this is why nothing has been official as of yet, in my opinion. However, I do believe they can agree verbally to a trade as of right now. So that's why you guys see in the comment section August. Now, I have told you guys this before, but just to clarify, I do think we can verbally agree to a trade that will be executed anywhere from the draft moving forward. Remember, the draft is July 29th, but I do think August officially for the Lakers because of the Kyle Kuzma poison pill contract that he signed last offseason. So, okay, Buddy Hield to the Lakers. Do I like it? Do I love it? Or do I need it to happen? Okay. Now, I like Buddy Hield, guys. He's a very good player. He's an above 40% beyond the arc three-point shooter. Lakers need that. He's a very subpar defender, so I'm not sure how he would fit. But sometimes you have to adjust the player, not the other way around when you need the talent. I'm not sure what's involved in the package. All it says is Lakers, Kings discuss Buddy Hield for Kyle Kuzma trade. If it's 1-for-1, I'm all for it. I've been said it, right? I'll take the better shooter on this team as a fit. So, yeah, but I don't think so because the cap doesn't match there. So I do believe it's going to be 2-for-1, and maybe they throw in a second-round pick, their 39th pick most likely. So a trade would probably look like this. According to the reports, if you combine those reports between Shams and Woj, excuse me. So the report says Lakers are shopping both KCP and Kuz. Most likely that's your trade package for Buddy Hield, except that's a lot for one player, right? Because KCP is very formidable as well, especially since he's a two-way player, even though he's streaky or whatever, two-way player. And you're giving up Kuzma, who has potential. For just Buddy Hield, that wouldn't make sense, unless they're throwing in another piece. Maybe they're throwing in that 39th pick. I would love it if they were throwing in that 9th pick, but I doubt it. I think that would be too much value in return for KCP and Kuz. However, the 39th pick, Lakers have been working out some second round talent. I told you guys I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers try to trade for second round talent. So this deal could look something like this, and this is just me, being a Twitter GM real quick, just putting on my Twitter GM cap. It could look something like Kyle Kuzma and KCP for Buddy Hield and that pick, right? The 39th pick. That's what the trade could look like. It could also look very different because other reports are that the Kings are also shopping Marvin Bagley very heavily. Oh my goodness. Now I would be ecstatic if we could land both. I doubt we could, but if we could somehow land both Marvin Bagley and Buddy Hield in a deal, oh man, I would be super hyped, okay? Because I think both of those players have a lot of potential. T says, best wishes to Kuzi wherever he lands. Absolutely. And by the way, happy late birthday to Kuz. I wished it to him on Twitter yesterday, but I was afraid of the negative backlash. Surprisingly, there were no negative backlash. So I'm happy, at least not on my timeline. I'm sure there were another timeline. So I'm proud of you guys for being mature enough to be able to wish our guy Kyle Kuzma a happy birthday and not bring up all the trade him. He's a bum, blah, 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 all that hater talk. So congratulations for that. He said, Dan, Kings are reportedly trying to get rid of Bagley and Hield's contract. Yes, that's what I'm saying. If somehow we can get both of those players, I'm above and beyond happy. But there's also a possibility that we're still working on the Russell Westbrook trade. Okay, and this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, is that we're going to hear rumors, okay, NBA rumors from everywhere. All right, left and right. Shams might have different rumors than Woj, and Mark Stein might come up with something, okay? But the bottom line is the one rumor I do believe is this one. Okay, KCP and Kuzma are being shopped hard because we're trying to get either a star player or some really good role players. My prediction is this. If we do end up landing Buddy Hield, right, then we could turn around and try to, depending on what Montrezl Harrell does, but we could technically package Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell. They both decide to opt in. We could package both of those on a sign and trade for Dennis to try to get Russell Westbrook. Now we're potentially talking about a Russell Westbrook / Buddy Hield upgrade to the roster, and then everything else will have to come off of discounts. But that would be insane for me as well. Okay, that we have that option. We also have the sign and trade deal for a player like somebody who is also being reported out there, and Kyle Lowry, who apparently the Lakers, the Pelicans, a couple of teams are interested in him. So there is some interest there for multiple teams. Kyle Lowry is a possibility as well. But I think the Lakers aren't just going to settle for one of these players. I think, believe it or not, I think Rob Pelinka is going for multiple players. And I am excited, whether that be Kyle Lowry and Buddy Hield or Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan or any combination. If we can get like that, now you can really call us the favorites and you can really call us a super team. Even if we're hard capped or whatever, I think Rob Pelinka is trying to maneuver around that. I think if we sign our mid-level players first and then execute a trade, maybe we can do it that way. Or who knows? But bottom line is rumors are flying, guys, and I'm here for it. I'm here for you guys. Okay, again, the report states that the 76ers, the Lakers, the Mavs, and the Pelicans and the Heat are expected to be the top suitors for Kyle Lowry. So how could that make sense, right? Yesterday we got a report that the Lakers were in advanced talks to acquire Russell Westbrook. This is why I say you got to believe half of what you hear. Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. I do believe there's still a possibility for Westbrook. He's still one of my favorite possibilities this offseason. However, I think the Lakers are doing their due diligence, and this is where you have to give credit to Rob Pelinka. He's leaving no stone unturned, and he's making sure he brings maximum value in return for whatever players he decides to flip this offseason. So that's a great thing to me. To me, I'm happy. I'm excited to be hearing all these names, and they're all linked to the Lakers. This is how you know we're the most relevant franchise in the NBA, all right? Everybody all of a sudden wants to come here. All the names are linked to us. The haters are hating. It's just that time of the year, man. It's like Christmas all over again. So we don't know. We're going to wake up one morning and hear breaking news, this etc. trade happened. But I want to ask Laker Nation this, okay? If you had your choice of one of these players that you think will make the biggest impact on the Lakers, from the names I already mentioned, all right, Buddy Hield, Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, and Kyle Lowry. Let's say the Lakers can only do one of those four. Which one are you doing and why? I'd love to know your guys' opinion on that. I've actually been running polls on Twitter that have gotten over thousands of votes. And I see that we're like Laker Nation is split 50-50 on Russell Westbrook. They like Buddy Hield better for some reason, even though he's the less accomplished player. They think he's of course, for fit purposes, right? For shooting purposes. But, People people are rating Buddy Hield above Russell Westbrook, which kind of surprises me. But I want to know. My man said Kyle Lowry, Russell Westbrook. One guy said Russell Westbrook. All right, two guys, Russell Westbrook. I want Lowry. And why? Why is this the player you believe will make the biggest impact on the Lakers? That's what I really want to know. Say Hield for sure because he will help us for shooting. One thing about Buddy Hield, even though he's a career high percentage shooter from beyond the arc, he's coming to the Lakers, so that means he has to play within the flow of the offense. He can no longer dribble, shoot like he was doing with Sacramento Kings. He has to be able to play off ball a lot, be able to catch and shoot, and be able to limit himself because he's not going to be a high volume shooter with the Lakers. He has to make the majority of the wide open shots he takes. So can he make that transition? Because remember, he has been a streaky shooter throughout his career. That's the only question I have on Buddy. I'm willing to take a flyer on him for sure, especially if the trade is worth it. If we're not giving up too much, and if we could somehow keep Taylor and Horton Tucker, that makes me ecstatic. But from what I'm hearing, man, a lot of teams covet him. So I wouldn't be shocked if the trade with Buddy has let me ask you guys this, okay? Would you guys be willing to give up Taylor and Horton Tucker, Kyle Kuzma, and either Montrez or KCP for Marvin Bagley and Buddy Hield? I'm just saying these are possible deals that could happen. I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying they're likely. It's just an idea. I'd hate to give up THT, but I think I would definitely give it a shot if we're giving both Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley as a return. He said Westbrook is a dog. We need dogs. I agree with that, Jason, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't agree with us. They think it's all about shooting and it's all about scoring. But we also need good defense. We need good hustle, good rebounding. We need to improve multiple positions, not just one. People just say shooting. Now, we need playmakers. It's been reported that the Lakers want to move Anthony Davis to the center at some parts of the season, as well as LeBron James to the power forward and bring in another playmaker. That's why it makes sense to bring in somebody like Russell Westbrook, who's ball dominant, because they want to move LeBron off the ball more. He said, I'm not giving up THT. I know you're not giving up THT, but there is a possibility, and I love THT. There is a possibility that he will be required to land one of these star players on a sign and trade. That's all I'm saying. And, mentally I'm preparing myself because as much as I like this young piece and I think he's going to be tremendous, I also think that a deal of a landing a Kyle Lowry, a Russell Westbrook in combination with somebody like a Buddy Hield, a DeMar DeRozan could really do wonders for the Lakers as far as winning the championship. And remember, at the end of the day, the Lakers are technically not a rebuilding type of team or a young talent type of team. Sometimes we get lucky and we get to witness that through players like Kobe, Andrew Bynum, young players like that. We get to they get to stay with the franchise and build their own legacy. But that's very rare and far and few in occasions. Most of the time we trade for players like, superstars like LeBron, even though he signed with us. But we trade for players like Anthony Davis. That's usually what tends to happen. So would I be shocked if we trade Taylor Horton Tucker? No. Would I be a little disappointed? Yes. But as long as it benefits the team for the now, because we're in it for the now. And remember, the Lakers are great at drafting players. This is the thing that always consoles me when we trade young talent. What did I tell you guys when we traded Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and all these pieces? I was still happy because we got a transcendent talent. I knew it would A, lead to a championship, and B, I know that we have a front office that even if we have late first round or early second round picks, they can still make something happen. And so thus far, we already, off of 2 seasons, we already kind of, love the way Taylor Horton Tucker plays and his potential. So that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying is that the Lakers are good at replenishing young talent. Therefore, it doesn't hurt them as much to trade young talent because they can always get it back. He said Hield and Sexton, I would be happy. Ooh, William Scott. I mean, both of those players are nice, but they're both young. And remember, according to reports, the Lakers are looking for experience from the point guard position. That sounds a lot more like either Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, or Russell Westbrook. But that's just me. I'm not sure Colin Sexton fits into that category. As a matter of fact, he doesn't. He said DTLF AD has been quiet lately. He's ready for all the smoke for anyone, especially Giannis. Anthony Davis hasn't gone nowhere. He just was injured this season. He'll be completely fine. If he has an MVP season, even better. But if he doesn't, as long as he returns to that superstar form of averaging more than 25 points per game with double-digit rebounds and a couple of blocks, I'm ecstatic. That's all we need from him. He said, which 2 good player combination do you think we can get to help us win the crown next year? What is the realm of reality? That is in the realm of reality. Okay. Well, you guys heard the reports yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday? We're getting these every year. I'm sorry, every day, so I'm losing track of when they happen. But you already heard the DeMar DeRozan Kyle Lowry pairing. That would help us, and that is within the realm of reality if DeMar DeRozan takes a mid-level exception. So that's a possibility. I'm also starting to think that Rob is working magic behind the scenes because we're hearing two split rumors at the same time being a possibility, and that's Buddy Hield and that's Russell Westbrook. If we can add both of those as our starting backcourt alongside LeBron and AD, plus whatever role players we sign, I'm above, I'm just beyond psyched at that point. Okay. Now, I'm not expecting that to happen, but if that happens, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose it. Okay. I'm going to lose it here on this live stream. And I'm going to be so hyped because that team would be better than the Karl Malone one. I believe so, with Gary Payton. Those players were way over the hill, and somehow Kobe and Shaq still carried them to the finals. So, what I'm trying to tell y'all is anything is possible, baby. And it could end up being a player we're not even talking about. It could end up being like a Malcolm Brogdon. It could end up being like a Miles Turner type player. And I'd be ecstatic for that too, because the Lakers aren't far removed from the championship. We literally just dealt with bad chemistry and injuries. If we can fix both of those things, we're going to be right there. Now, we can get players to elevate us past the 2020 team in which we won a championship. Game over. All right. Because we really haven't had a super team in a long time, probably since that Gary Payton team. Everybody wants to call it a super team. No, we weren't. We didn't have 3 All-Stars. Okay. We've had borderline All-Stars like Lamar Odom in past teams, but that's not a super team. A team of Kobe and Gasol is not a super team with a bunch of good role players, not a super team. Super team is 3 All-Stars or more. And so this would actually make us the first super team probably since the Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Shaq team since 2004. So that's huge. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm rooting for a super team. Precisely, I would be happy with like a Lonzo Ball edition and some other good role players. I'm not a super spoiled Laker fan. I'm spoiled, but I'm not like beyond belief spoiled where I need the pipe dreams to happen for me to be happy. No. As long as you keep us competitive, you keep us healthy, and we have LeBron and AD, I'm happy, right? That's just me. But realistically, anything can happen, guys. I'm here refreshing my phone because rumors are flying in at any time of the day. And I'm just like, what's going to be next? All right. We've already heard a multitude of players attached to the Lakers. And by the way, Chris Paul still hasn't opted in, even though I did see a video clip of them playing poker and laughing and having a good time, which is weird because they just lost in the finals. But yeah, that's the new generation for some reason. They don't really care about championships like that, man. He said, what's our bench look like with Buddy and Westbrook? We don't know that yet. And because we don't know how it's going to impact the cap. Again, I'm not a cap salary expert, but I do know that there is ways to maneuver around the hard cap and get players under budget, especially if we have those type of players, because now you have role players, looking at us like, oh, I'm willing to, get paid whatever for 1 year to try to win a championship. So there's always a 1 year with a 1 year opt out. That could happen. And thanks for the donation, bro. I appreciate you. He said, come on, Lakers, let's make a blockbuster move. I think it's coming, bro. Again, right now we are, we're almost done with July. But as soon as August rolls around the corner, or it's about to be August, I think we're going to hear about something, man. I really do. And watch out for draft night. I've been hearing a lot of trade rumors of teams that have picks and teams that don't have picks are looking to make deals around draft night. Matter of fact, I wanted to talk about this rumor, even though it's not Laker related, because it could end up impacting the rest of the league, okay? Now, let's talk about your boy, Bradley Beal. According to multiple reports, the Wizards are putting pressure on him to make a decision if he wants to stay long-term or he wants to get moved. If that happens, there's a chance that he can get moved before the draft, the NBA draft, which is, again, on the 29th of July. Okay, I'll be here to cover it for you guys. So if Bradley Beal gets dealt, guaranteed Russell Westbrook gets dealt. Matter of fact, I think his trade value goes down a little bit because now everybody knows you're in a rebuild and they don't have to give up extra. All right. Right now, the heart-sticking selling point for Russell Westbrook and why they want Taylor Horton-Tucker and all these pieces is that they're still competing and he's still a triple-double machine. But what's going to happen if Bradley Beal gets traded? All of a sudden, guess what? Russell Westbrook, he's not going to want to stay on a rebuilding team. So now to me, That's the first piece that has to fall in free agency this year. Not even in free agency, in the draft. I think if Bradley Beal requests a trade, I think Lakers land Russell Westbrook. The Lakers land Russell Westbrook. Now we're looking for pieces to surround Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and AD. Now you could be talking about Buddy Hield. You could be talking about DeMar. You could be actually, here's the thing. Here's a complicated thing too. Before we land Russell Westbrook, if that happens, we would probably have to use our mid-level exception and our veterans minimum because we're probably going to be hard capped once we make that Russell Westbrook trade. So there's levels to this. We have to do it in layers. We can't just make a trade and then land said player and land said player. There is such a thing as a salary cap and a hard cap. So we have to operate around it, and I think that's why Rob keeping everything close to the vest, and you're hearing all kinds of rumors because he's keeping his options open. That way, like I said, if one domino falls, okay, Rob can act accordingly, and so on and so forth. Now, that's my prediction. I could be wrong, and it could end up being the Lakers to make the first move in the offseason. That could happen because, again, our name has been linked to everybody. He said, for you, if Beal requests a trade, Westbrook also will leave the Wizards. Exactly. So I'm saying that very well could be the first piece to fall. It could be Bradley Beal. And here's the sad part, all right? Bradley Beal could end up on a super team. Well, it's sad for everybody else, not sad for him. But he could very well end up on the Warriors, who are rumored to want to be moving those lottery picks for a star player. He could be, anything's possible, guys. Anything. He said, I want Westbrook so he can choke. What? What are you talking about, bro? Westbrook is compatible with LeBron. Westbrook isn't compatible with LeBron. He's too ball dominant. Again, William Scott, I understand what you're saying. If Westbrook comes with the same ego and he doesn't leave it at the door, he's not willing to take a lesser role, then yes, there's no point of even trading for him, obviously. But historically, LeBron James is an alpha, okay? Everybody else is a beta. They all fall in line. So I expect Russell Westbrook to fall in line if he comes to the Lakers. I don't expect Russell Westbrook to try to be the first, second option at all. I expect him to slide in as a third and sometimes even the fourth, depending on who else gets hot. But he has to be willing to put his stat padding to the side and be willing to win for it to work out. And it can work out. Because if LeBron wants to move more off ball, at least during the regular season, okay, Russell Westbrook will play a huge role in that. This year, we allowed Dennis Schroeder to play on ball a lot, and he messed up a lot. He turned the ball over a lot. He wasn't aggressive enough. His shot wasn't falling, especially down the stretch of the season. So we can endure him. I definitely don't mind having the opposite type of player, the Russell Westbrook type, the one that always plays hard and always attacks the rim and always does what he has to do. You know what I'm saying? So I do expect it to work out. But, however, I'm actually intrigued because if we add Russell Westbrook, I think moves are to follow. Yes, Carmelo Anthony is a possibility. Yes, maybe Spencer Dinwiddie comes and takes a super pay cut to play 1 year with his hometown team. Maybe DeMar DeRozan will want that mid-level exception. Then we pull off the Russell Westbrook trade. Who knows? Anything is possible, guys. But I think Rob has something. I think he has the ace up his sleeve, man. He's ready. He's ready for this offseason. Trust me. He said Lowry, Caruso, DeRozan, Bron, AD for starting five. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Again, I'm open-minded to this stuff, guys. I'm not going to be like a lot of Laker fans that are saying, oh, no, we can't have him. He's a cancer. Oh, no, we don't want him. He's too old. Oh, no. No, I'm going to be open-minded. All right, we had an off year, so we got to bounce back stronger than ever. And I think everybody's of that mindset. I think the front office has that mindset. LeBron, AD, the role players are going to end up staying here. They all have to come back stronger than ever. He said, we're getting Buddy Hield and Miles Turner 100. That would be dope. Any combination like that would have me above the hill. Excuse me. He said, a quiet GM is a working GM. And that's exactly, you know what? I couldn't sum it up better myself. That's exactly what Rob is doing right now. He's working, man. The fact that Wojnarowski, very reliable source, / a lot of people call him a Laker hater. The fact that he's admitting that Rob has called every team in the league to gag interest for KCP and Kuzma. Can you ask for a better front office manager? I can't. Okay, because I remember during these times, Mitch and Jim would sit on their hands, man. You know, they would sit on their hands so much that if they sniffed them, they probably smell like ass. Like, that's how much they'd sit on their hands during trade deadlines. I was always like, do something, man. I was always quoting Kobe, do something and do it now. And what happened? They ended up getting the can, rightfully so. So, Rob is the complete opposite. He's constantly working the phones, constantly. He probably has a drawing board of different scenarios and different pathways to the championship. And I think he's going to get it done. I really do. And I'm here for it. Dan, do you think we can get Buddy and Westbrook? Yes, I do. How? Not the cap expert, but I'll tell you this. If we can somehow get both Dennis to agree to a sign and trade and Montrezl Harrell to opt into his contract, I think that becomes a lot more plausible. I think that becomes a lot more of a reality. Okay, because now those are extra chips you didn't have to deal with. Now you can move those. Okay, Montrez opts in. He's going to have a lot of trade interest. So again, the deadline coming up, right? And he's going to have to make a decision quick, right? We're on the 25th already. So he's got about 4 days to make that decision, or 3 days, or something like that. And we'll know a lot more once they make those decisions. Okay. He said, not every team in the league. Woj sold that every team that he's talked to. He said basically every team in the league. Okay, so what I'm telling you guys is Rob is doing his thing. He's doing his due diligence. He said basically every GM that I've talked to, basically all the teams in the league that he's talked to, somehow have heard about a package of both KCP and Kuzma. Now, what he didn't mention is how interested those teams were. I think that's the intriguing part, because normally Woj, he thinks he's a know-it-all, right? Usually he'll say something like, the Lakers are trying hard to move KCP and Kuzma, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of interest around the league. He'll say something like that gives you more insight. He didn't give us that insight. He just said that every team in the league that he's talked to has heard of some package that has to do with KCP and Kuzma. Now, keyword heard. That means they could be in discussions. That means there could be pending trades. That means all kinds of things can happen. But remember, August has to come so that whole poison pill contract from Kyle Kuzma is disintegrated, and then they can move his contract. I think that's the only thing that's holding things up, really. But the fact that, he didn't mention that in a negative connotation. He didn't mention that in a negative manner, like saying, they're gagging trade interest, but there's no value. No, he didn't say that. Okay. Matter of fact, I've heard from multiple reports that a lot of teams are interested in Kyle Kuzma. And that's a slap in the face to all the fair weather fans that hate on him and say he's garbage and you can't get a bag of chips from him. Those people are ignorant and don't really watch basketball. Everybody that knows and has been a Laker fan and watched him from day one knows he has improved. Yes, he's taking a back seat, but you're going to see him flourish and shine on a different team on a bigger role. And his defense has improved a lot. So that has some definite value around the NBA. Plus, he's a 6'9" guy who can put the ball on the floor, attack, and score. Who's not going to want a piece like that? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, people are just too emotional. And yes, I know he didn't perform well in the playoffs due to chemistry issues or whatever the excuse may be. But the bottom line is we do have some trade chips. Contrary to what a lot of people thought, we didn't have anything coming into the offseason. A couple of days ago, I posted Norman Powell, and people said we didn't have enough to get him. They basically told me to take the post off. I'm like, no, I'm going to stay optimistic, and I'm just trying to gag what people's interests are in said players. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of negative Nancy's out there telling me what can and can't be do. Like there's some sort of GM. It's like, you are not a know-it-all. Possibilities are endless. Anything can happen. We just got to keep an open mind and a positive attitude. He said, hey, Dan, I know Rob will surprise us with a good trade, and the haters will also be surprised. Absolutely. He did it. He's done it already for 2 off seasons. So, again, this was just a misstep. This season, due to injuries and poor team chemistry, and let's be a little bit honest, okay? We were lacking more rim protection and another playmaker off the bench, okay? So that this season was a misstep. But that's okay, because we're going to gain our footing and we're going to come back stronger. I know it. He said, Rob the GOAT. He said, Kuz hit his ceiling, man. No, we don't know that. We don't know that. Why? Because of his age? Here's the problem, man. Here's the problem. People forget that Steve Nash had MVP seasons at 30. Before that, he was just a really good borderline all-star on the Mavericks. Okay? A different system can really change a player. So just because you hate Kyle Kuzma doesn't mean he hit his ceiling. That's just emotional talk. And this is what I'm trying to tell people. Okay? This is not about should we trade Kyle Kuzma or not. It is hands down we should, because he doesn't fit here and he might flourish elsewhere better anyway. So it's better for both parties that we get the maximum return and value for him now. Okay, but what you're not going to tell me is, the future, because these are the same people that were saying that Julius Randle wasn't going to get better, that D'Angelo was a bust. These are the same people that were saying Jordan Clarkson wasn't that good and he was overrated. Same people that were telling me that Brandon Ingram was a bust after his rookie season. I kept telling him everybody develops at a different timeline. Shoot, Chauncey Billups got traded hella times before he became Big Shot Billups with the Detroit Pistons. So again, everybody has a different timeline. Everybody plays different on a different basketball system. Matter of fact, point in case, Team USA. There's already rumors that they're complaining about how they don't fit well in the Greg Popovich system. But you want me to tell you the real truth about Team USA and why they lost versus France last night or this morning? I'm going to tell you why. Kevin Durant is not a good leader. That's why he always needs to surround himself by other players that can also carry some of that torch. Players like James Harden and Kyrie. And the reason I think the Nets aren't going to work is neither of those guys are good leaders. They're all kind of weird. And they don't have a lot of team chemistry, and eventually they're going to implode. Did you guys see the video clip between Bam Adebayo and Kevin Durant? What does that tell you? Poor leadership. We're probably not even going to win the gold medal at this point due to the fact, but we should based on talent alone, right? And the coaching isn't poor. So what I'm trying to tell you is systems matter. Okay, when it comes to Kyle Kuzma, he's going to plug in and play probably better in a different system, depending what system. So you can't really say we've seen him at his best because so far, every young piece we have traded from Thomas Bryant to Julius Randle to Jordan Clarkson have exceeded all the haters' expectations on different teams. So I'm here to open people's eyes, man. I'm a truth teller. I'm out here with my flamethrower and just spitting venom and because people don't understand that their hatred for a player just because he colors his hair a different color than your favorite kind of color or whatever has you blinded. Kyle Kuzma is a very solid piece in this league. And don't be fooled by what the haters say and don't ride the wave of popularity of, Kyle Kuzma, and, just stop it. I'm here to tell you he's a very decent player, and somebody should give us good value in return. I'm not expecting a superstar in return for Kyle Kuzma, but I'm expecting at least a starting caliber player or at least a very good role player in return. And that's all. He's a Fizdale going to unlock our offense. That's another thing. We did bring him in for that reason, for those purposes, man. So, there's a lot of simple-minded people out there on the internet that love critiquing players, but they don't understand they probably don't fit in our system. Our coach is probably not using them to the best of their abilities, and this is why you see these players flourish at different systems. It's that simple. He said, my dream offseason is that the Lakers, if they can pull it off, is getting Russell Westbrook and Hield and signing Boogie so he can get a ring this year. I'll pass on DeMarcus. Okay, I like the guy, but I'm not sure how much he has left in his tank. I didn't see too much. I saw him in spurts look good, but we need a consistent big who can rim protect. That's the biggest thing we need at the big man. We don't need another scorer. Anthony Davis, LeBron, those guys by themselves at our front line will do the majority of scoring. But what we do need is a rim protector and somebody that does the dirty work, gets rebounds, intimidator, and just alternate shots and stuff like that. He said Trez was just live, Dan. Montrezl Harrell? What did he say? He said, what about Whiteside? That's another option. That's on the cheaper side. If we need to get a cheaper big man, but, you are gambling with him. He has to buy in. He has to mature real quick. He's been an immature player. After he got that contract with the Miami Heat, he hasn't been the same. Before that, he was looking like a beast. Do you think the Lakers are going to trade down in the draft? I have been hearing rumors that the Lakers are interested in trading to get second-round picks, so that is a possibility. We could trade down a couple slots, with a team that's willing to dangle a second-round pick, and we could end up with 2 picks instead of 1. Remember, I said it when I saw the Lakers working out young talent that I expect not to go in the first round. I said, watch out, because the Lakers are great at nabbing young talent in the second round. And matter of fact, the next couple of years, we might have to do this because we don't have a lot of draft picks due to the Anthony Davis trade. He said, we need a defensive big man and a lob threat. He said, we need players like Alex Caruso who are winning type players and are willing to win. I agree. It would have hurt to lose Alex Caruso, but the market is going to demand what happens there because I believe he's unrestricted. At least with Taylor, he's restricted and there's cap limitations to how much a team can offer him, at least for the first 2 years. So we could always re-sign a player like that. But Caruso might, if somebody overpays him, they pay him $20 million. I'm not matching that. We need our cap flexibility moving forward. As much as I love Alex Caruso, he's not a $20 million a year player. He's more like 10, 12 max, So that's what I'm saying. There's some crazy teams out there that are rebuilding and they see some different type of potential from Alex Caruso, they're gonna want to sign him to like 18 and 20. Then the Lakers would be, we'd unfortunately have to let him go. So that is the scary part. Now I'm hoping that we bring back both THC and Caruso if possible, but we'll see, man. He said Lakers starting lineup could be Russ, KCP, Hield, LeBron, and AD. Yeah, I mean, look, but I think KCP would not be there if you get both Russ and Buddy Hield. You have to be realistic. You have to give up some value there. And it's going to have to be, I think the only way we can get Buddy Hield and Russell Westbrook, you'd have to include KCP, Kuzma. You might have to include THT most likely. You're going to have to include Montrez if he opts in, and Dennis Schroeder in order just to get those two players. Because look, let me tell you something. Okay, Buddy Hield is making like 19 mil. Kyle Kuzma's contract by itself is not good enough. You're going to have to throw in KCP. Or how much is Buddy Hield making it? I thought it was 19. It could be 20 or more. So you catch my drift, right? The salaries have to match for a trade, or at least have to be really close for a trade to go through. Dan, do you think Gasol and Dwight will fit together? Yes. One off the bench and one starting. Why? Because Gasol can stretch the floor and space it for us. He has very high basketball IQ off the bench. Do not want that man starting. He's too slow, man. Too slow to keep up with the athletic big men in the league. And even for the spacing, stretch bigs in the league. He's too slow for that. He'll be caught flat-footed. However, we did see a revelation off the bench. He was excellent, man. And I'm hoping we bring him back off the bench. Now, I think he's under a contract for one more year. People were speculating that he would retire. I don't see why he would pass up on all that money. So I do expect him to be back with the Lakers. He said trade AD for Dame Dollar. Heck no. If you know basketball, you know that you don't make that trade. You don't trade an elite big man for an elite guard that has never won anybody a championship. Okay, you just don't do that. And by the way, Damian Lillard is 31. Anthony Davis is 28. Okay, the only way for me to even consider that is if they throw in CJ McCollum. But that's just me. I'm telling you, why trade AD if the man is an elite big man that doesn't grow on trees, who's still in his prime? He's 28 years old, all because he had one bad season due to injuries. That's ridiculous. If you think about it, this is what I'm talking about. There's some fans that I'm not sure if you're a Laker fan or just a LeBron fan. Because if you're just a LeBron fan, you might be saying ludicrous stuff like trade everybody just to get LeBron help. But in reality, the Lakers fans, we have to look at our long term. We have this man locked up in a max contract, all right, at least for 4 more seasons. Why trade him now? It wouldn't make sense. If anything, win a couple more championships. And if he wants out after that, then we could get maximum value in return. But I think Anthony Davis is here to stay. I think we're going to end up hanging his jersey in the rafters. Watch. Mock my words. I said it here first. He said, give more picks so you wouldn't have to add THT to the trade just to add these picks. I mean, yeah, that would be ideal, bro. That would, if we can keep THT and land these said players that we've been rumored in the rumor mill to acquire, that would be the best case scenario. But more likely than not, it takes talent to get talent, right? So everybody in the league is now aware of Taylor Horton-Tucker's potential. They see that this kid has star written all over him, and he's only 20 or 21, not sure, either one or the other. But he's young, and he already showed growth from rookie season to the next season. Somebody out there is going to demand him in a trade, especially if you're trying to land a Russell Westbrook type player. So I wouldn't hold my breath for that one, man. As much as I love Taylor Horton-Tucker and I almost bought his jersey, I held out from doing that just in case he gets moved this offseason. AD is soft. You're not a Laker fan. You didn't see the championship run. We don't win that championship without quote-unquote soft AD. Bro, stop hating on Anthony Davis because he was injured. That's dumb. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You're the type of GM that would probably trade Joel Embiid as well. You'd probably trade anybody who gets hurt because you're in the moment. Don't be a fair weather fan. Don't be a prisoner of the moment. That's dumb. And please stop calling our superstar players soft. I don't appreciate that. He said, do you think we are getting Westbrook? I do think that's a high possibility. I think that's on the higher end of the spectrum as far as possible returns. But again, everybody's looking at Bradley Beal right now because it's gonna depend on his decision. I think he's the first domino to fall in the offseason unless nothing happens there and then other moves have to be done. You know? All right, I'm done with you, bro. You're just trolling. AD South, trade him now. How about we trade you for a more loyal fan? How about that? He said, DTLF, they are hating on AD because he's a generational talent and nobody can guard him. Exactly. The man took over the bubble, man. And they want to call it a bubble ring, but in reality, that was the AD/LeBron ring. Those guys were phenomenal together. And they showed me enough that I don't ever want to trade either of those two, ever. That's fair weather talk. I'm cool on that. Exactly. My man says stop calling AD soft. Y'all should be calling Kawhi soft. Exactly. You're talking about Mr. Load Management himself, man. So yeah, again, that's just those aren't real fans. That's why I block them. They get on my nerves. You get blocked. Yeah, I really hope Drummond stays with the Lakers. Honestly, I don't. I want either Nerlens Noel or Dwight Howard. Those are my top two. Obviously, Dwight first and then Noel second. Those are my top two priorities for big men. But maybe we can draft one in the second round. We'll see what happens. Again, I do expect Anthony Davis to play a lot more at center, so maybe they won't look for one. But I would like to have one as an anchor, especially when we play the big men like Joel Embiid. That way we don't have to have AD guarding them and potentially risking injury when they bang down low during the regular season. He said, if the Lakers get Westbrook, the Lakers versus Nets finals would be the highest ratings ever. Oh, can you imagine? Hey, man, can you imagine just the storylines that would be flying left and right if we get our super team versus theirs? Just imagine that. That would be insane for basketball because, first and foremost, you already know the storylines between LeBron and Kyrie. But if you sprinkle in some of that Russell Westbrook versus KD and James Harden, yeah, that would be out of this world, phenomenal to watch. So, Dan, KCP Kuz and the 22 for Buddy, Bagley, and 39, I do it. I do it because Buddy and Bagley both have star potential, but I think they've been underdeveloped and underutilized with Sacramento. They don't really have a true offensive system. Luke Walton's not a coach. Matter of fact, we even seen De'Aaron Fox take a step back. Granted, he was injured a lot, but he took a step back from the previous season before they got Luke Walton because he was already on the verge of breaking out as a star player. People were comparing him to Donovan Mitchell already. People were saying he was the next John Wall. So all that went out the window. And, I do think that's a problem with the system, and that's a problem with the coach. Hey, what up, Raquel? She caught alive. Good to see you. Good to see you. Dan, if we had a chance between Westbrook and Buddy or Lowry and DeRozan, I think I'm taking Westbrook and Buddy Hield just because Westbrook, to me, again, younger than Kyle Lowry, and I think more impactful. And Buddy Hield is probably a better shooter than the other two, even though Kyle Lowry can get hot. But again, outside of that run he had with Kawhi, Kyle Lowry's career has been impressive, except when he gets to the playoffs. So how much of that will translate over to Los Angeles? The last thing we need is another inconsistent player. That's all I'm saying, Dan, we definitely getting somebody. Oh, yeah. It's, again, the rumor mill is on fire, guys. That's why I'm here almost every day. I've been here 3 out of the last 4 days, and that's only good for me and my channel as well as Laker fans because we get to talk about interesting topics and who fits where and what is worth what. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. We can literally wake up any morning now and read about breaking news involving our Lakers. So, let's just hope it's something great, man. I'm holding my breath right now. He said, considering Hield haven't been productive in years, would you just do a Kuzma for Hield straight up? Only because of fit purposes. I do think Buddy Hield might fit a little bit better as a catch and shoot guy rather than Kyle Kuzma. So I'd be on the fence on this move, but yeah, I'd probably do it. Even though it hurts me to give up size. Again, I don't like to give up size in a deal because I do like Kyle Kuzma's size. He has improved defensively, regardless of what the haters would tell you. And he's still a clutch player in the regular season. Now, playoffs, that hasn't translated, but he's only been to the playoff twice. So we'll see what happens there. But yes, I think I would do it. And especially if we get to keep Taylor Horton-Tucker and other assets and maybe move them in a package for another star player like a Russell Westbrook. But here's my thing. A lot of people aren't on board with the whole Russell Westbrook situation, which is funny to me because the man is a gamer, all right? This man has a lot of heart. And remember, he's never been a third option on the team. I think he would flourish as a third option, even though he's really not a three-point shooter by definition. He can get hot and streaky here and there, but he's not a three-point shooter. But we're not just looking for one position from the three-point line, right? We're probably out here looking for stretch bigs in the draft. We're probably out here looking for different positions that can shoot the three. So he wouldn't be the the beginning or the end of that need. If we get Buddy Hield, does that solve all of our 3-point shooting needs? No. We still need other players to knock down shots, right? We still need to bring down Mac. I'd bring back Macklemore, Wesley Matthews, because Wesley was a great 3-and-D guy, especially down the stretch. And I'd keep Macklemore because he's probably been the most consistent 3-point shooter we've had since as a role player since Jody Meeks. And that's saying something, right? So again, Russell Westbrook, this is why I don't get the criticism. He's not the only move we're going to make, guys. Obviously, if we're getting Russell Westbrook, Rob Pelinka probably already has other moves up his sleeve to make sure that we improve this roster in the areas where needed. Russell's just going to add a motor. Russell's going to add rebounding, hustle, heart, and grit to this team, which we lacked at that position due to the fact that Dennis was inconsistent. So that's all I'm trying to say for you naysayers that are saying Russell Westbrook is not a good idea. That's all I'm saying. Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind, guys, and just know that Rob has a bigger plan. That we're Rob's plan, pun intended. So we're here for it, man. I'm just here for it, and I'm excited. Let's see what happens, guys. And again, I already asked you guys what you guys would be most excited for, and you guys said potentially. I think the one that has gotten the most positive outlook from Laker fans on Twitter and here in the comment section has been the Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan pairing up in Los Angeles. And again, I'm open to it. But again, I'm not sure if that's all we need. We still need a big man who can be an anchor, who can help in the paint. There's other things that need to be filled. So we have to look at the bigger picture. Whatever move we do shouldn't be the only moves we do. He said, I think Russ and the Lakers would be something similar to Dennis, to be honest. No, we can't compare those, JYs. Matter of fact, I think it'd be the complete opposite. I think with Russ, we would get what we were expecting from Dennis. When we got Dennis Schroeder, we thought we got 6th man of the year. We thought we got hustle, energy, speed, and consistency from the former 6th man of the year. Instead, we got laziness, we got inconsistent shooting, and we got poor team chemistry. With Russell Westbrook, one thing you will know for sure, you're never going to get laziness. So you can subtract that. Team chemistry, historically, teams fall in line when you play alongside one of the greats like LeBron, Kobe, or Michael Jordan. Okay? Jordan was able to tame Dennis Rodman, etc. Kobe was able to tame Metta World Peace, etc. LeBron has been able to tame the likes of J.R. Smith, etc. So I don't think Russell Westbrook, I just think he's gotten a bad rap. I really do. And again, I haven't been the biggest Russell Westbrook fan. I'd be a hypocrite to tell you otherwise. But I will say I always respect his game, his heart, and his hustle. That's why I call him steroids. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps going and going and going. But that's nothing but respect, man. And again, that's what you're going to get off of him. You're going to get nothing but heart, hustle, grit, and grind. And this is why I think it's the misconception. People are afraid that we'll get another player like Dennis when instead you'll be getting the opposite, all right? He's going to work times 10, whatever Dennis gave you. Dennis sometimes will come to the game looking like he didn't get sleep last night. It's not a good look. My man was on Call of Duty day and night. So we need somebody who's going to be focused and cares about the game and comes with the passion and leaves his ego at the door. I think Russell Westbrook can do that. He says, should we bring in Carmelo Anthony for the forward spot if we trade Kuzma? Yes, I think that's an absolute must. If you trade Kuzma, you're going to want to replenish some of that bench production with somebody like Carmelo, especially at this point of his career when, he's seasoned, he's a veteran, he's bought into his role for the first time in his career in Portland. He's definitely going to buy into his role with the Lakers. So, yes. Why do you want a super team? Honestly, I just want us to get better, whether that's a super team or not. Like I said, I'm open to Lonzo Ball and a bunch of other role players as well. It's not that I want a super team. It's that we have to adapt to other super teams around the league. Because let's be real. Everybody likes to hate on the Lakers whenever we even talk about acquiring a super team. Well, Brooklyn's over here sitting on 3 superstars. The snake, the fat ass, and the weirdo. They're sitting on 3 superstars. And nobody's saying a word about them. That's how you know the Laker hate is real. That's number one. Number two, Golden State's getting ready to get Klay Thompson back. They have 2 lottery picks to trade for another star player and some trade assets, and they're about to build a super team. So that's number 2. And, number 3, we have to keep improving at whatever rate. And like I said, all right, this is just you need at least 3 guys, whether they're superstars or not. You need 3 guys. Look at Milwaukee had 3 guys. All right, Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday are their 3 guys. And they had other has-beens as well. Because let's be real, Brook Lopez is a has-been. He has been an all-star. Okay, they've had other has-beens and some really good veterans. So at the end of the day, you people asking me why I want my Lakers to get a super team. I just want my Lakers to improve, no matter what the cost. I think any fan would. All right, so you can go ahead and feel free to critique me or whatever. But if we improve the Alonzo Ball and a bunch of good role players, I'm happy. Do I think it's enough to get us over the hump? We'll see. We will see, right? But at the end of the day, look, we need to improve at whatever the cost. You know, who cares if we get criticized for having a super team? Aaron, I appreciate you, bro. For the donation. He said for LeBron, AD, Westbrook, and DeRozan. Westbrook and DeRozan would be nice. However, the floor spacing would be a little more tough, but I'm open to it. Again, if we get other role players around them, we'll be all right. And, you know, people always worry so much about three-point shooting. But let's go back into the finals. And what was the three-point shooting percentage in those finals? I believe that the championship was won in the paint with the size, which is exactly why I predicted Milwaukee before the series started. Right? Everybody was like, no way, Dan. You know, the Suns are going to win. They're going to shoot the lights out. It's like, you live and you die by the three if that's all you have in your arsenal. However, when you have size and you can abuse people in the paint like we would with LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook, that's going to be abuse in the paint. That's what that's going to be. All right? The rest is going to be a bonus. Yes, we will hit threes once in a while. But you're not looking at it from my point of view. You're only looking at it from the fish eye or whatever they call that. You know, you're looking at it from your side of the glass. And that being said, we would improve if we get Westbrook or DeRozan, even though none of those guys are three-point shooters throughout their career. Not to mention that when we acquired Rajon Rondo, people said, oh, he's horrible for three-point shooting and spacing. He has added that later on in his career, man. Think about that. So there is a chance that Russell Westbrook could probably have his better shooting season playing alongside two real superstars, two real leaders, not no snake. You know, there is a real chance that Russell Westbrook could improve with the Lakers at his percentages. You know, that's also an option that people don't like to talk about. But it's all good. Look, it doesn't matter. Whatever happens, I'm here for it. I know Rob has our best interest at heart, and we're here, Lakers. We're here for the ride. You should be excited because I'll be covering every rumor from end to end. And if something breaks, you guys know where to find me. I'll take a couple more questions before I get off. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys. Truly would appreciate it. We have 500 viewers in here right now live. We'll get a lot more later on as this video is processed and pushed out. But I would really appreciate if you guys could please smash the like button. He said, just hope. Okay, I don't know what that means. He said, Brooklyn, best Kevin, the cupcake leader, Durant, Kyle Gazer. And it's not even a hate on. Look. I say what I say because I get pissed off. A lot of these Nets fans be coming at me talking about why do I want a super team when I destroyed their super team. It's not even that I want a super team. It's just that you guys are forcing the league to get better. You guys already built a super team, so the league needs to build to your standard. That's the reason that, you know, the Bucks went out and they weren't happy with just Drew Holiday. They went out and they got PJ Tucker at the trade deadline. You know, because teams have to get better in order to defeat your ridiculous squad. I still prefer AD, LeBron, and a bunch of good role players. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not what I prefer. It's just that the league is evolving. If there's a super team, the rest of the league has to match up and evolve as well with your super team. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's not like we're the first super team in the league. You know, no. Yeah, so the Nets are the only team allowed to have a super team. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. He said Conley to the Lakers. I wouldn't mind him. You know, even though he dealt with a lot of injuries, but I wouldn't mind Mike Conley. And is he my favorite? Hell no. We have better options, but yep, we'll see. Jose said, DTLF, nice work. Keep dedicating to our Laker team. Let's go. Appreciate you, Jose. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it, man. And shout out to all the Laker fans out there that are covering this from end to end, man. You guys are all an inspiration for me as well. I get videos sent to me from new up-and-coming YouTubers that are also trying to do what I do here. And I always say, man, I'm very proud of you guys. Keep growing. Keep putting in the work. I appreciate all the love as well, man. And I reciprocate that back to you guys. So he said, if we get Russ, do you think players would take less to come to LA? Yes. Yes. Anytime you have a super team or anything close to it, players tend to just, you know, hop on the wagon. It's just the way it works, man. The NBA has always been like that. You're welcome, Willem. It's my pleasure, brother. It's my pleasure, man. He's a Westbrook for Dennis, KCP, THC, and Buddy Hield for Kuz in the 22nd pick. We have to make it would probably have to be Kuz and KCP to make the contracts work. But yeah, again, whatever it takes to improve this roster, I'm open to it, guys. You know, I love young talent more than anything, and it hurts me to see guys like Taylor Horton-Tucker go, just like it hurt me to see Thomas Bryant go because I knew he was going to be good. You guys remember me talking about that in this channel? I said TB has a lot of potential as a stretch big. I said I see him like a Clint Capella type, but with a 3-point shot, and that's similar. You know, I was pretty spot on with my scouting ability to what I called him. He's very similar to what I described. He's very similar to Clint. He works hard on the glass. You know, he has a lot of skill around the basket, but he also stretches the floor. So, you know, it has hurt me to see every single young player go, but the reward of winning championships and being a title contender and even some call us a favorite every year is so worth it, man, because that's what the purple and gold is all about. Name in the front of the jersey before the name on the back. Still can't believe that 2019 people were saying the trade LeBron like TF, weird asses. That's what I'm saying, bro. And I was here covering that exactly, calling them out on that because I don't like fair weather fans. You got to ride and die by your team. You got to stick with them, especially your superstars. Especially your superstars. Isn't that common? A lot of people play too much 2K, man. They're so knee-jerky when it comes to making trades. They just want to, this player had a bad game. Trade him immediately at once. Who cares if you don't get equal value? Who cares the message you send around the league of not being loyal and maybe jeopardizing future chances of signing free agent superstars? Who cares about all that? All that matters is my NBA 2K trade logic. That's my problem with those fans, man. That's why I'm here to level them, humble them, and educate them at the same time. You know, this is the reason I'm here, guys. And I do appreciate all the support, the love. Thanks for donations, the likes, and for tuning into today's video, man. That's going to wrap it up for me, guys. I will be here. If anything happens, shoot, if a trade happens tonight, I'm jumping right back on. Like that little Simpsons meme when he drops his hat off and then he picks it back up. I'll be right back after these messages if that happens. So thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate y'all. Last one, he said, which one, Dan? Westbrook, Lowry, CP3 do you prefer? Out of those three, I prefer Westbrook because he has the biggest motor and the biggest heart. And I think that can exceed some of the skill sets that the other two bring that Westbrook might not have, like 3-point shooting and floor general skills. You know what I'm saying? Because how much floor general skills do we need when LeBron's out there on the floor, really? You get my point? But again, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate y'all, man. It's going to wrap it up for me. I'll see you guys right here if anything breaks or even if there's some juicy rumors to discuss. You know where to find me. Make sure to turn on the post notification bells for all things Lakers and more. Make sure to keep it locked right here. Peace out. Have a great rest of your evening. Peace out.